So yeah, this is like, I'm going to take time away from doing these other things, and I'm going to fix these little toys. Yeah, I am. Hello, I'm Pam, and this is another episode of Friday Sews. So, this week, we do have a new, like prompt suggestion. So this week's prompt, it says, what is the craziest thing you ever sewed? Or, in light of Halloween, what is the craziest costume you ever sewed? Well, I decided to take that into what is the first costume I ever sewed. Yeah. So I'm going to go ahead and show you the first costume I sewed. It was like a quick, I did it like in like a day, and it was just like this creative process, and I was just like, alright, I'm going to do this. I never really sewn clothing or any costume per se. I was mostly doing quilts at the time. So this was like totally left field, like just like, you know, crazy. So I'm going to go ahead and pull it out. And it is like 20 years old because I sewed it up when my little boy was like a year old. So it is a turkey costume. So I'm first going to show you the hood. This is a little hood, like the little gobblers. So it just went over the head. And then the little, like little turkey gobblers. Yeah. So this is the hood. And I was looking at this I got it out yesterday. And I was like, wow, that sure is quite uneven. That's pretty crazy. So what I'm doing now, I'm just straightening out my little turkey feathers, because they got kind of scrunched. So I just kind of wanted to straighten them out really quick. Alright. So I did little ties on the back and then along the neck. And this. So I was looking at it, I'm like, man, I had like one side that was smooth and the other side was just kind of lumpy, bumpy, and just kind of like all over the place. Don't ask me why. It was just one of those things. And then this is the back little tail feathers. That basically I shaped them into feathers, and then I added some wire and zigzagged it onto the thing for it to stick out. And then on the inside I did like a white lining fabric. And of course it wasn't the greatest because it's got all these little extra little holes and stuff. And the way I sewed it, you can see all the seams. Yeah. And it's got like, I think it has like quilt batting in it, because that's what I had. I didn't do a lot of other crafts at the time. I mostly did quilts. And so I just took some of the quilt batting, like my leftovers from like cutting off the edges when I was making quilts, that I had some that I was able to wrap around the side. So, and then I paired it with just some ready to wear shirt, like a little onesie, and then a ready to wear little pair of footy pants. So now I'm going to show you the pictures that I had taken. So I still had the pictures, so I got those out so I could share them. So this is my little turkey. He's got a little squat. And I had some little like beige socks that I put him into, obviously. But yeah, just all these cute little boy moment memories. Okay. Alright, so that is like the first Halloween costume I ever made for my little boy. The little turkey. And when he was little, we used to call him Turkey. So that kind of where that turkey costume came in to play, is that me and his dad used to call him Turkey just because it was just one of those little nicknames, and so that's where the turkey costume came in. Now I'm gonna go ahead and show you a picture of my daughter when she was 8 and wearing the white dress that I showed last week. So she's wearing the little white dress that I made her. I had happened to find that in the package with the costumes, with the pictures. So what have I sewn this week? Well, I got 2 pairs of overalls done. So I finished my brown pair. But before I finished my brown pair, I decided to switch it over to this pair. Now, you've all seen this fabric before. It was the crazy clown pants that I'd made a while ago, and it was just horrible. I'm still thinking about what I want to do with that. If I want to just like get rid of it, or if I want to just like repurpose and like reinvent the pattern. I don't know for sure, but I'm still thinking about it. But the reason why I switched to this is because I sewed up, well, I fixed a pair of pajamas for my daughter's friend, and I was adding an inside lining on the front part because the fabric was kind of iffy and it ran a lot and it had a run in it, and so I stitched that up, but I wanted to make sure that, you know, she had the coverage she needed on the front. And so I had pink thread already set up in my machine, and I decided, well, while I already have it set up, I might as well just sew these ones up. So I started on these and got them finished. There's this pair, and I put cute little buttons. And I always like to add my little touches, you know. And then we got the pink on the back side, and then the pink on the straps on the inside. Just that little pop of color, and I had already cut this, so I didn't have the pink on this part, but it's okay. I don't know if I would have had enough pink to do that other inside. So what I got, I think I was pretty lucky to get what I got, because I didn't have the pink on the inside either. It was just the regular fabric. But as usual, I did put the elastic on the bottom because I like it that way. Alright, so my next pair that I finished, so I was working on this pair last week when I filmed. I was currently working on this pair, and I hadn't finished it yet, but decided to work on the pink pair. So here is my brown pair, all finished. Now I did the little side pocket, and I was gonna add the flaps, and I ended up putting the pocket too high, so if I added the flaps, it would interfere with this inside pocket. So I decided that I just wasn't going to add a flap. And I thought about I was going to unpick the pocket and lower it, but the problem I had with that is the fabric started to rip from the seam ripper, that I was like, nope, not gonna happen, and I stitched it back up where I'd unstitched. It's like, it's just gonna stay where it is, and there's not gonna be a flap. And I didn't add the little side pocket on this other side, which I probably could, but I didn't. And I still can if I want to, but I don't know. But then I have this little pop of collar here, which I absolutely love. It's got the pocket, and then the straps. The pop of collar is on the outside on the straps. And then on this bib part, I have that. And then this is just the regular brown fabric on the inside. But for the pocket, I did have enough to cut out this piece. This like umbrella fabric, this umbrella fan fabric, I gotten this from Joann's. It was like a remnant in their remnant bin, and so just one of those. It was when they were doing like their 75% off remnant sale, and you know, of course we went a little bit crazy with that and bought a whole bunch of remnants. Well, me and my sister. Well, those are the two things I got sewn. And I did sew quite a few masks this week. Just because it was Halloween. And I'd gotten some fabrics. I'm like looking around trying to find it while I'm talking to you. But I guess I could go grab the mask and show them to you. But yeah, I'm just too lazy for that. So, I gotten the fabric in like a fabric bag from Savers. Yeah, and in that bag it had, I just found a thing of thread down there. I'm a little distracted, can you tell? So in that bag it had a bunch of different fabrics, and it had a couple of fabric pieces that were just the right size to make a mask from. So they had like an owl and owl fabric that was like a Halloween themed fabric, and then it had a Hello Kitty Halloween themed fabric in there. And I was able to get a couple of masks out of each of those fabrics, and they were just small pieces. They weren't very big at all. So I was lucky to get what I got. And then there was a winter fabric. It said "Let It Snow," and it had some like gingerbread and snowmen and mittens and stuff on it. And I figured I was going to sew up a couple of masks out of that too. So I made me a mask, and I made like 2 small masks for my daughter and my son. And probably more so for my daughter because my little boy might not wear it. But who knows. But yeah, so I did that. And then I did get part of another pair of overalls started. So I got this done yesterday. And I haven't done any sewing today because I went over to my sister's and was helping her clean up her kitchen floor. Yeah. And so I had put on my like green work overalls that have stains and stuff on them, you know, that I used to do the roof of her house. And so I went over there and did that all morning, and then I picked my kids up from school, and then we came home, and yeah. And now it's kind of late, and I figured I better get this done because I can't put it off anymore. yeah, sometimes during the week I think, oh, well, should I do a video during the week? But what would I talk about? Like, I look forward to these Friday sews because it's just a wrap up of the whole week of what I've sewn and what I've done. That I'm like, what do I talk about during the other part of the week? You know, I just don't know. I guess I could show you what fabrics I got for this last week, but sometimes I don't want to do too many fabric hauls because, you know, it just makes me feel like I'm even more of a fabric hoarder, because really I am. I'm a closet fabric hoarder. You know, I buy fabrics and I don't always tell anybody, and then I just tuck it away for later, and then I look at my fabric stash and I'm like, oh, I really need to cool down on that, because yeah, that's really not good. But I do love the fabrics. Oh, and I did take apart my old mattress. So I will get to that in a minute, okay? So let me go ahead and show you what progress I have done on my overalls. So these are a green pair, and I decided that I was just gonna add these cool little accent ribbons. Like, this is just like the little circles and stuff. Figured that would be kind of cool there on the top. Kind of just like to do that little pop of interest, you know. And then I have this back piece sewn up, and then I threw it behind the sewing machine. Okay, I'll show you one of the pants. I'll show you one of the pants legs that I have gotten the pocket sewn onto. So I have the pocket here, and then on this part I put this little pop-up collar along the pocket edging. I think I do that because I like the little pop of interest, because I like to make overalls. I like to make the clothing that are busy and have lots of prints, and just makes me happy. And you know, like with these green ones, I put the blue pop of collar along the edges and stuff. And so with this green one, because I'm making myself a new pair of green overalls, but with, you know, the pattern that I like, I just decided to add this little pop of collar. So, you know, the top part has just the little open circles, and then the bottom has the solid circles. But yeah, so that's what I've been working on. That's what I've been doing. So what I plan on doing this following week is basically just getting this green pair done, and possibly working on another one. Okay, so I was going to tell you about my mattress. So I finally, on Tuesday, I decided that I was going to get my old mattress out, you know, be done with it. So I decided that I was going to kind of deconstruct it. So I was going to take it apart. Well, I got to the padding layer, and like the whole, like, it had like the springs, like in the middle, like on the bottom part, and then it had like this much layer of padding. Like it had an egg foam padding, and then it had a couple of flat, like varying sizes of padding in between. And I was like, well, this is cool. I really like this. So I'm like, well, I'm glad I took this apart, because now I can put it on my new bed. I didn't even have to go buy any memory foam. Well, I did buy some memory foam for it, and I was still like, you know, I was still having trouble getting used to it and sleeping. So I got that other foam, put the a crepe foam and that put on it, and got my bed all made. Well, and I went to Savers on Tuesday and looked for some stuff, and then I went next door to Big Lots and picked up a new sheet set for my bed because I needed one that was like the 18-inch deep for like the mattresses that are like 18 inches, because I have like that much padding on my bed, and then the other part is the mattress. Yeah, it's great. Well, you gotta be comfortable when you sleep, right? Right. But yeah, so I was so glad that I took the old mattress apart and found that I had like 4 layers of padding, like foam padding, inside that mattress, which was just the padding, and then it was on top of like some springs, like metal springs. Yeah, and then around the metal springs on the outside of it was like this dense foam, like thick, dense foam. And so that was wrapped around the outside. Yeah, it was interesting. But yeah, so that was my mattress story. And so the last couple nights, I've been sleeping pretty good. And then I get up in the morning and I don't want to get out of bed because I'm too comfy. Alright, so my daughter came down and she's like, Mom, I need you to move the van. I'm like, okay. And then she's like, oh yeah, and I need to give you something to fix. I'm like, really? She's like, yeah. And so I go upstairs so that I can move the van. And she hands me like this little penguin dude that her friend, it has a bunch of little holes in it. Like it has a hole here, see? It has a hole here and a hole here. And just like all over the place. It has all these little holes. And I'm like it would take me forever just to take a needle and thread and stitch all these up. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of like take all the extra padding out. I'm going to reinforce all of the seams. See, even here it's got some where stitching has come undone and they've done like a little bit of like repair job on their own. But see, even here along the foot it has come apart. So I'm going to deconstruct this. I'm going to like take it apart, stitch up all the pertinent areas, and just leave like a little gash, like a little spot right here. See, there's even a hole right here. I'm just going to leave a little opening right here on the back to access and put all the stuffing back in, and then that will be good to go, like brand new. And then she was looking for this other one, then she brought down to me, and this one doesn't quite have as many holes. It does have a couple. There's one right here, and so this one might just need, well, it's got like a couple of holes. There's like 1, 2, there might be a couple more along here. So I'm debating whether I take this one apart and like yeah, I think I'm gonna take this one apart too and like stitch up the seams and then put it back together and restuff it, just so that it's got reinforced seams. Yeah, and then her friend will be happy. Possibly like Wednesday we did go to trunk or treat in the neighborhood. Our church was putting on a trunk or treat, so we went and did that, and so spent time doing that with the kids. And Wednesday we also decided to carve the pumpkins, because I got my kids pumpkins and they decided that they wanted to carve the pumpkins on Wednesday. So we carved the pumpkins and then we went to the trunk or treat. So that was lots of fun. yeah, life. We're doing good. Like, that was my life update. We carved pumpkins with my kids. That was great. They really had fun. And then my son decided that he was going to put the pumpkin on his head. Alright, well, I hope you guys all have a wonderful day. Thank you so much for watching. I'll catch you next time. Bye.